Hey everyone, Mark here from Enya Nova Videos. Today we're going to be doing a follow-up review on the Enya Nova Go SP1 acoustic guitar. The SP1 version of this guitar is the one that has the electronics built into it, so you can have special effects built in there, as well as you can hook it up to an amplifier or recording software. Now in today's video, I want to focus on three main things. I want to focus on the battery life of the internal electronics, as well as Bluetooth functionality. And we're also going to take a look at the Enya app that you can download to your smartphone, because there's a whole lot of great tools built inside there, so it shouldn't be definitely shouldn't be ignored. Okay, so the first thing we need to discuss when talking about the battery inside here is that in my previous video I incorrectly stated that the battery life was about 4 hours. 4 hours of play time. I think at the time before I made my video I had already watched about a dozen other people's review videos to get a feel for what people were saying about it, and a couple of them mentioned 4 hours, and I probably had that stuck in the back of my head. I really should have consulted the manual. So the manual actually claims that if you're using just the special effects in here and you're playing along, you can expect up to about 10 hours of play time. However, if you're not using those as special effects and you actually have it plugged into the 1/4-inch jack and you have it plugged into an amp or recording software, you can expect up to about 20 hours. Now, my experience, I've had this guitar, I think, going on 3 weeks now. So I've been playing it around with it for about a week, sometimes using the special effects, sometimes plugging into an amp or recording software. The guitar was showing no signs that the battery was going, so I figured the only way to test it really would be to leave the guitar turned on. And since I had this guitar at my workplace, I was able to leave it on all day. So I left it on one day for 8 hours. There's still battery life in it. I had to go over to the next day and leave it turned on for another 2 or 3 hours before I started noticing that it was toggling back between flashing red and flashing green, letting me know that the battery was starting to go. So I let it go completely dead. So definitely I would have to say that the claims in the manual as far as 10 hours of just using the special effects or up to 20 hours plugging it into an amp or whatever, definitely it's holding true. So far, I mean, this is brand new. The battery is brand new and fresh, so it should be performing exactly as it states in the manual. And it did take me a good 2.5 to maybe 3 hours the first time I did charge it up. The second time I charged it up, it seemed to get charged up in about 2 hours. And you know when it's done charging when the green light stops flashing. When you first start plugging it in, when it's dead, the green light will flash, and then when it's solid, it's fully charged up. So you have three ways you can really enjoy playing this instrument. You could just keep it turned off and just use it as an acoustic guitar. You can have it turned on, which means you can add some special effects to your acoustic guitar sound, like echo. Or if you have the guitar turned off and you wanted to hook it up to an amplifier, notice what happens when I plug in a 1/4-inch cable. Look at that light at the top. It turns on automatically as soon as you plug in the cable. In other words, it's activating the electronics. Now, I had a little bit of a concern thinking, well, I know you can get up to about 20 hours of battery life if this is the way that you're going to be playing with it. But what would happen if the battery actually went dead? So I purposely had let the battery drain, and I plugged this into my amplifier, and I was actually surprised for the good 10 to 20 seconds I was getting audio, but then the audio stopped. So I think what was happening there is I still had a little bit of battery juice left, and it was making the connection, but after that it just stopped playing. If anyone out there has this guitar and you've had different results, like if you did find that you're able to use the guitar even if the battery was dead, I'd love to know that. Maybe I did something wrong. But in other words, it seems it doesn't work if the electronics, if the battery's dead, the electronics aren't working, the 1/4-inch cable is not going to work either. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the Bluetooth functionality. So there's a couple ways you're hooking up this via Bluetooth. One is when you want to connect to the app itself, the Enya app, and that's usually when you just want to change stuff like the parameters of the special effects, that kind of thing. But there's also the ability to hook up to your smartphone in order to play, you can play music, backing tracks, metronome, or drum machine or whatever through the actual speaker inside the guitar. And so we're just going to show you how that's done. So with the guitar already turned on, you want to do a quick double click, and you see the light flashes there. Then you'll pull over your smartphone. If this is your first time hooking up, you'll take a look for the new devices, SP1-G audio, and you'll click on that, and then you're connected. From this point here, you can do things like I said, you can play a metronome. You can hear it's playing out of the guitar. You can control the volume on your phone, as well as the dial here. Like I said, if you want to use drum machines or backing tracks, and set to whatever volume level. So I just wanted to do a play along there with some backing drum tracks, just so you can hear how loud the speaker was amplifying the backing tracks versus my playing. Honestly, my honest opinion is that I was really drowning out the backing tracks. I could hardly hear the beat at all. I think I probably wouldn't use this function all that much. It doesn't seem to be all that useful for me. It's not really quite loud enough. I can't imagine that the speaker in here is going to be any louder than just playing my phone itself. Or I could hook up my phone to a Bluetooth speaker or something. For me, I think that's more along the lines of how I would use this guitar and any kind of background music. So now I just want to take a look at the Enya app that you can download for your smartphone. When you first launch it, you want to toggle over to show the power button of the SP1. It'll search for your guitar. Once it makes the connection after a few seconds, you can just click on it. It'll load up what are the preset sounds, the preset effects, but of course you can go in and customize. This is where you keep your custom presets that you've made yourself, and then to make any adjustments you go over to the effects area there. Various different places you can make changes, the EQ and whatnot. You can turn on certain features like reverb, echo. You scroll through, there's wah effects, chorus effects. You can change how much you want the each effect to be applied. You can experiment around with it quite a bit. And when you come up with a sound that you really think you want to keep, you can save it. Unfortunately, you can't really type in a whole lot of letters. I was only able to put test SO. I really wanted to do like just test sound. Doesn't give you a whole lot of characters, but when you go back to your custom effects, you'll see it there up in the top left corner, test SO. So let's explore some of the handy tools you get with the Enya guitar app. As you'd imagine, it's very useful to play along with a drum machine. This drum machine, you can actually arrange songs. You can arrange different sections, different genres of drums. The metronome, increase, decrease the speed as necessary. You can change the time signature if needed. You can also choose between quarter note beats or eighth notes, 16ths, etc., triplets. All pretty handy stuff. So I really like the tuner app on this. I find that it's pretty accurate. Just going to go through each string. So for beginner guitar players, it's got some really great basic chord diagrams. If you're playing in a certain key, it'll show you what common chords go with that key. Great for songwriting. Then it has a chord finder too, so if you're not sure what chord you're playing, You can just map out where your fingers are on the guitar, and it'll tell you what chord it is that you're playing. And then, of course, it also has a complete chord library. So for every chord, C chord, D chord, whatever, it'll show you all the different variations. Really handy to expand your chord vocabulary. So hopefully the additional information provided in this video will help you make a proper buying decision if considering to go for the Nova Go SP1 guitar. If you already do have this guitar, maybe some of this information is new to you and is helpful for you to get full, better use out of your instrument. Anyway, I wish you all happy music making, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.